Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Part of the Conversation. Thank you for tuning in again. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. And let's see what questions we have going on for today.
Okay, great, guys. So we got one of your questions via the Nazima Knits page. Hey, Nazima, love your content. Been following you for years. I just got out of a 5-year relationship with an ex-boyfriend who isn't shit, of course. How do I get over it, and what's your advice for getting over a long-term relationship?
That's a great question. I think a lot of people have this topic in mind. Long-term relationships, they're so tricky, right? Because a lot of them start when you're really young and you're learning and you're already learning yourself, and then you're dating somebody else at the same time and you're both growing, and sometimes you're growing in different directions or you're growing, it's a weird balance. I think it's really important when you're going through anything life-changing like this to really stay inward and with yourself. Some people are here for a reason and a season. Give yourself space. Don't be hard on yourself. I think developing new routines, new hobbies, and growing and accepting this like new change for yourself, even though like it's painful, that's a natural thing. Pain is just showing us where there's an energy blockage in our lives. And when you are feeling the pain, that's when you like actually heal through it. I think going out with like, your friends, building your network up, and really focusing on yourself is like a great way to move on from a long-term relationship. Um, I think when long-term relationships suck. So did I say that?
What's the longest relationship you've ever been in?
I want to say 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years, damn.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Did it take you a while to get over him after those 3 to 4 years were over?
I don't know if we ever really get over our relationships, if I'm being honest. I think when you finish something like that, that's like taking up a chunk of your life, I think you just grow into a new person. I don't think it's really getting over it. I think you're growing into something else. I also think that, I feel like back then I was like so heartbroken, but then you're young and you're growing, and now I'm like, wow, my worth is like way more than that. And I think that's like the lesson from that, right? Like it's a secret blessing. I think time alone is a blessing because it's giving you time to focus on yourself and your hobbies and like your interests and like learn about yourself. And when you learn about yourself and you value yourself and somebody comes into your life, you're going to want them to value you a certain way. Yeah, I think a lot of times when we're dating, we are talking about like we're comparing like this guy to the last guy, versus comparing whether this guy is better for me versus the last guy being better for me. I think a lot of times women are like, "Oh, well, this guy, he has a better job than that guy, or he has more money than that guy." I don't think that's the focus there. I think the focus should be how much better is this guy for you compared to the other guy that you were dating. And I think that's the issue. I think a lot of times we're comparing guys to each other when we need to compare them to ourselves and our value and our worth and what we want and what's good for us. And when you focus on yourself, that's what helps you develop that, what's the word? Um I want to say that sense for it, right? I feel like you're developing a whole new sense of yourself. Oh yeah, sense of self, right?
Okay. All right. Our next one is also he also submitted a DM via the Nazima Knits page. This he also asked, but he also asked to keep his name
Oh, is it a
as
guy?
yeah, it's a guy actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Okay.
Which is great too. Obviously, guys, we don't just want women on
Yeah, we
asking
need like
questions.
perspective.
Yeah, for absolutely 100%.
The male perspective is also valued to an extent.
I'm sorry, what was that little winky?
To an extent.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding, guys. Right, Nazima? Just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Anyways, this guy's asking, "Hey Nazima, I love your croquet. I love everything from Nazima and it's related. I actually got some stuff from my girlfriend a couple years ago, and she loves using it. So thanks for that. Why is it considered hard to shop for men whenever the holiday season comes around?
Is it considered hard to shop for men?
I guess it is. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw it to Mateo really quick. Mateo. Have you heard that before? Like as a guy?
I feel like sometimes for sure, like the bias will be like, oh, like my dad or my boyfriend or my husband, like I don't know what to get him. Like he doesn't
Really?
like anything. Yeah, sometimes, even though I feel like that's kind of like a lazy answer because everyone's into something. So if your boyfriend or your dad or whatever male figure you have in your life that you're shopping for or like getting a gift for if they're into constructing and building things, just get them like a pack of wrenches or like tools or like something hands on. If your guy's into sports, get him tickets for like his favorite sporting event or like.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but sometimes I do feel like it'll be like I do hear like the rhetoric of like, oh, it's difficult to shop for this male person, you know.
I think it depends on the guy in your life for sure. I guess from a woman's perspective, like my father was very gift resistant. Like he never wanted any gifts from me. Like I guess it's because he didn't want me spending my money. But like one time I like made this crochet heart and it came out really messed up and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to waste a yarn." And I gave it to him and he hung it up in his office and he showed it to everybody and I was like, "Damn."
That,
Like that was the gift.
that's cute. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's cute though.
But
Like,
I guess like for him, me making him something was like I guess that was the best gift for him. So I think it depends on the guy. I think if you're dating somebody, um, it can be harder because maybe you know what he likes, but maybe he already has everything related to it. I have a follow-up question to this too. I would want to know, has anybody ever asked a guy if what they want for Christmas or what they want for their birthday and what their answer was that they got back? That's like one follow-up question I would have for
that is
this.
also very true.
Have you ever just like flat out said, "Hey, what do you want? Like what should I get for you? Like what would you value?"
That is true.
If not, I think it really comes down to the guy. And I think a lot of times guys, I think they're undergifted, probably because of the same topic. So I think just if you know them personally, I would give them something functional, something of use, something that's like super cute, something, on the Nazima Knits website, we just launched this product, or I think we're launching it soon. If like the guy, for example, is a car guy, this is like a cute little car accessory for him. It's a little like crochet, like, can you see it? Can I do this? It's like a little crochet like gear shift hoodie for their car. Yeah. So like I mean like it really depends on the guy when it comes to gifting. I think just keep it personal and keep it relatable and functional. And if you don't know, I would just
I
ask.
would just ask also.
I
Yeah.
would literally just ask. Like, don't drive yourself crazy. I think even you
Yeah.
asking the guy is a gift in itself
That's
because
true.
it's showing
Yeah.
that you care.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Because I feel like sometimes a lot of people try to like keep like the surprise element to it, but
yeah.
at the same time, it's like if someone doesn't like a gift or you don't get them like exactly what they want, that kind of ruins the surprise factor. As
Well,
opposed to like,
also like if say for example, a guy you ask a guy what he wants and he tells you, that could kind of give you a path. So you can actually get him what he wants and maybe like something extra, like an accessory to go with it. Like it can kind of give you a path to follow too, and you could kind of make it your own.
oh, for sure, yeah, definitely. We have another question over here. Hey Nazima, I'm 20 years old. I'm an NYU student currently for my undergrad.
Nice. Okay.
As you can imagine, it's very hectic. Everything's very academically. Everything is at a high pressure point, and I seem to manage everything pretty well. Although at the time that I started school, I wasn't dating. I met this guy recently, within like into my second semester, in a class that we have, and we've been on a few dates, and we're talking back and forth, and everything seems to be going pretty well. The only thing that worries me is my academics and kind of balancing the additional the additional maintenance that is dating. As a 20 something year old from New York City that graduated from business school, what would you suggest for me to do to balance work, studying, and dating all at the same time?
That's a great question. I think you said something with dating being maintenance. It shouldn't be maintenance. I think that's the first part of it. I think when you're dating, especially in college, I think part of dating is I feel like as a first generation girl, woman in New York, we aren't taught how to date. It's just like there's not a lot of guidance, I think, from a lot of people around us. I think when you're dating, especially in your 20s, especially in college, it's really important to be focused on yourself. And when you're dating, part of dating is not only getting to know the other person, but it's also getting to learn about yourself. And it's getting to learn about what you like and what your interests are and what you want for yourself, right? And that doesn't mean that every time you go on a date, it has to grow into something. That doesn't mean that every time something grows into something, it's final or whatever it is. I think it's really important when it comes to dating to have fun, especially when you're in college and like you're young and you're just trying to experience life. Um and you're growing your own experiences. I think take it day by day. It shouldn't feel like maintenance. If it feels like maintenance, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know what she meant by maintenance exactly. I think she kind of meant like maybe the like the I don't know if this is a better word, but maybe like the upkeep of a relationship,
But that's my
or maybe kind of
point.
like yeah, you know, I agree with you 100%. But I think that's what she the word she's looking for is like that's kind of like a one more thing to kind of like
Balance.
preoccupy and balance.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's life, sweetie. Welcome. Welcome to the real world. I
Amen.
mean, you're going to be working and after you graduate, and when you're working, if you're going into like a career, for example, I'm an accountant, I have to constantly be up to date with new laws. So I'm still learning on top of working, and you're still dating. And now the people that you're dating also have their own jobs and their own learning, and everybody's trying to figure out if they should be living their own lives, if they should be going out with people, if they should not be going out with people. They're trying to, solidify themselves financially. They're trying to see if they picked the right thing in college because they probably just started their career and they either love it or they hate it. So I think it only goes uphill from here.
I would think that only goes uphill.
But yeah, I think the best way to balance is stay. I personally like to stay close to myself so I can hear myself think. And when I hear myself think, then I can know if this is something that's good for me or is it something I want to stay around me and to grow. Yeah, dating is no easy fet, especially when you're studying. I think, as always, whether you're dating, I've never been married, but whether you're married or if you're in any sort of relationship, you need to put yourself first because if your cup is empty, you cannot solidify anything else in your life. You need to make sure your cup is like fully well full, fully well filled, a full filled cup before you even think about pouring into other sections of your life. That's totally what I think. But yeah, it is a balancing act, and I think over time, once you get to know yourself and you keep getting to know yourself, you're gonna you're gonna find your rhythm and you're gonna find your groove. And it'll get easier, hopefully. I'm still learning.
All right, awesome. We're gonna do one more question. You want to do one more question, right?
Yeah, let's do one more
All
question.
right, cool. So we'll do one more question. All right. So once again, this person DM via the Nazima Nits page and doesn't want her name out there, but it says, "Hey Nazima, big fan of your business and everything that you're doing. You're an inspiration for a lot of brown girls like myself that are just out here hustling and trying to do what we gotta do." You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
So my question is, when you get into a relationship with a guy, how important is his family upbringing and the quality of his family in comparison to you two dating?
I think it's very important. I think I think when I was dating me when I was younger compared to dating me now when I'm older, I think this is one of the things that I've noticed is like the family is very important. I don't think I put enough weight on it myself personally when I was dating in my younger 20s, but the upbringing says so much because gosh, this is such an important topic.
It is for sure.
I think the person's family says a lot because I mean, also, don't get me wrong. It's not saying that if somebody's family is there, I don't think there's such a normal thing as a normal family dynamic. I don't. I think every family is unique, and I think every family is just trying to make it work, just like anybody else. But I do think it's important. I think knowing if they come from like a family that's really caring or really develops them emotionally, mentally, financially, is invested in them, that says a lot about who they're going to be to you as a partner. And if this is somebody you want to marry and have kids with, I think that says a lot to how they might be a parent as well. Um, or it can be, one the other way. Maybe they had a horrible upbringing. They didn't like their upbringing and they're working in their power to make it the complete opposite, right? Which is, more power to anybody trying to better themselves. Um, I think it is so important, and I think just because somebody came from a good upbringing or a bad upbringing doesn't define them, but I do think it plays a huge part. I think again, this is something that when you're dating, you really need to stay focused within yourself so you can stay objective. And then you're going to say, well, actually, I want somebody who comes from like a big family, or I want somebody who comes from a small family, or I'm okay with whatever family they come from, or, because I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. So I think it is important. It says a lot about their morals, it says a lot about their values, which are also important, right? Because you want to date somebody who understands that their actions have consequences and that their actions affect other people. That's very important. And I think there's a lot of unconscious people out there who do not realize that their actions affect other people and their words affect other people. I'm old school. I feel like my word is my bond. If I say something, I'm there. If I'm showing up, if I'm saying I'm going to show up, I'm there. Nowadays, there's not a lot of men who do that. So I think also looking at the family can tell you a lot about that. But yeah, I think it's like really important. That was a great question. We should expand on this in the next episode.
We should for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's
totally.
because I think it's a very complex. Well, not complex, but it's a deep question because there's so many things
There's so
that.
many factors:
Yeah,
siblings, parents, the age differences, the
for
living
sure. Yeah,
situations, first gen, second gen,
yeah.
uh, you know,
Like what their families do for a living,
living,
also
yeah,
for
career
sure.
paths, jobs,
Yeah,
ambition, their family traditions, their
for
holidays.
sure.
Like
Yeah,
there's so many things that go into it.
yeah. Especially living in New York, like a city like New York, where like you can date someone. It's very normal to date. It's been very normal to date somebody that's different than your religion or different than your ethnicity. Just a complete different culture. And so not just in like in race related, but like like you just said, like moral related and family
Mm-hmm.
values, and it is something to to take into
Consider.
consideration.
It's
Yeah.
a totally long thing to consider, especially long term. Like, I think a lot of people, I think what I'm seeing now from people who are in their 40s and 50s that are like my friends, a lot of them got married before discussing how they want to parent their kids or
Yeah,
how
for
they want
sure.
to do, certain things. They just got married and they're like, well, we'll figure it out. I think those are very important discussions
For
before
sure.
you
That's
go
not
into
that's
this.
not something you just figure
Figure it
out else
out.
because even
Yeah.
if you make a game plan for it, which you should like discuss everything before you get married. Like you might have to tweak that game plan a little bit, or tweak
Yeah.
certain things because you realize, oh, okay, on paper it's X, Y, and Z, but now like in real life this isn't. I think it'd be better to work this out another way for us.
Yeah, and I think because also there's a lot of men where they'll say, oh yeah, I want this for myself, I want that for myself, or I want this for my kids, I want that for my kids. But consistently, this person may have showed you in the past that they don't stay true to their words or their values, right? Like they actually don't follow through on what they say. So then when they're telling you these things and you're still believing them, you know, there's like a 99% chance it's not going to happen. So I think it's really important to stay objective when you're dating also, so you can be aware of, does this person actually follow through when they say something, or does this person actually have values and morals, and what are they, and do they align with me? Hey guys, so thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Feel free to DM any questions you want to have on the next upcoming podcast to Zimzima or to the Nazima Knits page on Instagram. Um, I look forward to hearing your feedback. And also, right now, Nazima Knits is having their sample sale. So, 50% off anything under the sample sale while supplies last. So, be sure to check it out. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. That's all, folks.